Hey, what's up guys? Brent the Broker here with you today. Today I want to talk about rising inflation and how homeownership is a great hedge against rising inflation. Before we jump into today's topic, guys, be sure to subscribe to the video, turn bells on for notification, and drop us a comment. We'd really appreciate your support. And stay tuned to the end of the video for our pro tip of the day. So, I'm going to talk about three things. Inflation, what is it, and how a homeownership can stabilize your payment. And when you're investing in an asset that outperforms inflation, you can use it so that your wealth is not depreciated by the weakening power of the dollar. So inflation, what is it? Inflation is nothing more than the cost of goods and services going up. So gas, food, electronics, and even housing. When the prices of these things go up, that's called inflation. Now, a certain amount of inflation is good for the economy because it indicates a stimulated economy that is growing. So that is a good thing to a point. However, when inflation is going up too fast, too soon, what it is the purchase power of your dollar is going down. So when they say inflation is up 9%, what that means is what costs $1 last year costs $1.09 for the same item this year. So it's taking more dollars to buy the same goods. In an environment where inflation is going up, we want to try to figure out how do we keep our money from eroding with this increasing inflation. So imagine if you were a renter. If you're a renter and you're up at the end of your lease and the landlord says you notice, hey, we're raising your rent X amount, let's say 10%, your rent just inflated. You just experienced inflation of whatever percentage your landlord chose to raise the rent. So one great way that homeownership is a hedge against inflation is with a fixed mortgage. Most people buy a home with a fixed mortgage. That means your payment stabilizes over the term of the mortgage, whether it's 15, 20, 30 years. Now, yes, you will see some property taxes go up, your insurance rate, there might be some minor things that go up, but for most people, the mortgage is the biggest part of their personal budget. So if we can buy a home, we get to protect ourselves from the landlord coming in every year increasing our rates, and your payment stays relatively the same. And so if you ask me, one way to protect your purchasing power, how do I have more money in my pocket to buy food, to buy gas, when those prices are ever increasing? Well, if I can stabilize the biggest piece of my personal budget, and next year when everything else goes up, at least I'm not paying more to the landlord. So what I'm avoiding paying extra to the landlord can go towards gas, food, and the rising prices elsewhere. Another thing is homeownership as an asset typically outpaces inflation. So another way that we can protect our dollars from eroding as the prices of things go up is to invest it in assets that go up in line with or faster than inflation. Now take a look at this chart. So you can see here that in most time periods, the appreciation rate of homeownership outpaces inflation. And what that means is that you are sticking your investment dollars in an asset that's growing, and it's growing at a faster rate than your dollar is eroding, which means you are actually getting wealthier in real terms rather than just on paper. So the pro tip of the day is this. Inflation exists in most years. Just about every single year, if you look at the past 50 years or 100 years, inflation exists because, again, it's a healthy thing for the economy. So it's not just when it's headline news. It's more important than ever to hedge against inflation because inflation is eroding your purchasing power at a higher rate than normal. But even in times of normal inflationary pressures, buying a home and experiencing home ownership makes sense because in the long term, even at its typical rates, inflation is going to erode your purchasing power. So protecting your biggest line item in your budget against landlord increases and investing in an asset that outperforms. Again, guys, this is about maintaining our wealth and building our wealth in times when inflation is trying to erode our wealth. So this is about your personal wealth building journey, and this is how one piece of it, home ownership, can help you along that journey. So that's going to be it for me today, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn bells on for notification, drop us a comment if you'd like. We really appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.